Well. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final show of the season here, the CSC Challenger Series Division II Finals between Mike Scarborough and Corey Beck. Take 3 of these two playing against each other. I'm Sean Green, joined by my man, Mr. Nick Dirachi, nunchucks to share here in the background. Michelangelo was the nunchuck one, right?
Yes, that is correct. Good job.
And I know he had pizza today because he has pizza every day. And we got a snoozing Will Stewart there on his screen. He's taken after Porky right after they got done streaming, I guess. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the CSC Challenger Series. I'm so excited for tonight. If you're wondering how close this matchup is going to be, they are 17-17 right now against each other. They have lost 9-8 both ways at this point, and I think it's anybody's ball game. Nick, are you excited for this one, buddy?
Yeah, first off, you call yourself Sean Green. I got a lot more green going on than you nowadays, so we might have to reevaluate our naming conventions here, but I'm excited, Sean. I mean, this is exactly what you want. The 2 meetings of these players this season, both of them going to tiebreakers, 1 each direction. We talk about these picks where we're like, oh, we'll pick 9-8 this guy or 9-7 this guy, because those are pretty safe picks to assume that most players will hold their throw or get broken once. Tonight's that night where that should be true. These guys are neck and neck. This is exactly what you want in a finals, and it will be way more exciting than the end of divisional. I'm just kidding. I didn't say it.
Well, listen, I can tell you this. It's going to be similar averages as like the first 5 legs of Division 1 on Monday. I'll say it.
That is true. That is, in fact, true. But these guys have been fighting hard. They deserve the spotlight. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Corey Beck. He's going to be playing.
Yeah, this is my favorite coming into tonight. And he's my favorite because statistically, he's leading in every category overall. And yeah, games matter, but I'm talking like percentage of 9 marks hit per leg, percentage of 7 marks hit per leg, percentage of 5 marks hit per leg. Corey Beck rules that there. Duluth, Minnesota, playing at Legends Bar. Been playing for 30 plus years, throwing that 4.67 MPR. And that was raised from last week because he had a 4.81 in that first dip scenario to a 4.58 from Mike Scarborough there. 55.6% win rate, and he's throwing those Kelt Claymore 20-gram darts. He also has 49 9 marks with 3 white horses, 148 7 marks, and 177 5 marks in 124 games played. He has been masterful. Nick, what can you say about Corey Beck, the newcomer to the CSC this season?
Well, he's proven that while he might be a newcomer, he's really part of the old guard, right? I mean, he's really just been playing consistent, and you notice what he has had that other players have struggled to have is adaptability. He adapts to whatever situation is getting faced at him. Scarborough last week had moments where he started playing hyper aggressive versus hyper conservative because he wasn't sure. He was kind of out of sorts a little bit compared to what we're used to from Scarborough. Corey just kept changing to do what he needs to do to make sure he comes out on top, and that resilience will do him a lot of favors tonight. But of course, he still has to get through the giant one more time.
Yeah, tell us about Mike Scarborough.
Yeah, of course, Magic Mike, the shirtless wonder himself, playing out of Phoenix, Arizona at Bullshooters over there. He's been playing for 25 years, averages a 4.63, which has gone down just a slight tad. And they were actually 0.01 away from each other at NPR going into the finals this previous match. They're now 0.04 away, so a huge difference between the two players. And of course, averaging 59.6% win rate, throwing those monster bullies, 18 grams there for Scarborough.
Yeah, the weirdest part, man, is that they actually are separated by one player. Scuba Steve's kind of in that sandwich at a 4.66 between Corey Beck and Mike Scarborough right now. So that 0.04 is kind of a lot when you compare it to Mike and Austin Braswell have the same exact average for this season. Casey Jones is a 4.62, Cooper Olson a 4.61, Josh Cassini a 4.60. So this season, everyone's right close to each other, and it comes down to this matchup. I cannot wait. I think we're going to see a different Mike Scarborough tonight. I think we're going to see a more comfortable Mike Scarborough tonight. But man, if Corey continues to be cool, calm, and collected like he has been, I think he gets the job done. I'm going to take over under of 9 marks. I'm going to go with 11.5 tonight.
I was actually thinking 12, but we did not discuss this beforehand. So
we did not at all.
12 would have been my number, but that also sounds like my Will Stewart impression of just copying whatever Sean says to sound smarter.
No, that's how we have to do sometimes. Although I do not copy what Will says because, it doesn't sound smart. Listen, you guys got to watch the Whammo stream earlier today. Luckily, Porky got in there to smarten some stuff up. But no, I'm kidding. Will obviously does a fantastic job. I'm just happy to work with you tonight and kind of get a little bit of a different feel for this. But if you've never watched before, let's go over the rules and specific format of the CSC Challenger Series. This is it. It's players play race to 9, best of 17 legs, all cricket with a cork or 3-dart count up to start the match. The loser of the previous leg will start the next leg after that. And if either player is down 3 or more legs, they will continue to go first until the deficit is reduced to 2 legs. I actually will say that probably helped Danny on Monday night. This is the PPD player advantage rule. And if we go the distance,
we go for speed.
There was no speed in that one. Players will cork for start in the last leg decider. First place, $2,500. Second place, $1,500. $1,000 difference. Race to 9. It's probably going to go down to 1 leg, buddy. Who are you picking and why?
I'm going to honestly go Scarborough. He is the preseason favorite. He was the favorite going into the part 1 of the final here. And you have to imagine that what we've seen from Mike has not been his best stuff yet. But of course, Corey has shown, again, like I said, that adaptability, that resilience. He will be able to stay in this mix. But if Scarborough can do what he's capable of doing and what he has done in streams in the past, you would have to imagine it's still his favor. He is still the favorite in this one. What about you?
I'm actually going to go with Corey Beck. I'm going to go the opposite route. And we talked about this beforehand, and I actually told you I was going to pick Corey before you told me you were picking Mike. So we're not just picking opposites just to pick opposites. It's going to be 9-8. We know that. But I have Corey winning this one in the last leg decider. And his consistency, his resilience for the past few weeks, kind of as an underdog repeatedly. As you can see, Mike misses the first start, knows he can't possibly win the diddle. So he's just going to, Let's just go to the next one here, bud. So Corey's going to get the start. 9-8 is my scoreline prediction for Corey Beck. I think he gets it done in the last leg decider, and I think it's going to be one of those matches that is kind of a knockout, drag out, maybe a little bit of duck and stick type of a boxing match. But I can't wait. It's going to be great. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know who you have in this one. And we'd just love to hear from you, chat. Sorry, Nick. Tonight, guys, we're gonna talk over each other a little bit more than usual, just because we have a slight more delay than we're typically used to from each other.
And Sean likes to talk a lot, so the odds of me talking while he talks is pretty easy, just because that's a quantitative number of infinite talk versus me trying to jump in.
Very fair.
No, that being said, you just mentioned, let us know where you're tuning in from. If you guys were in the Whammo stream earlier, either on the stream, in person at Whammo, or watching online, put a hashtag Whammo in the chat there. Will Stewart and everybody and did a good job over there. And of course, we're happy here for our late night endeavors going into the finals of Division 2.
Suck up. And if you leave a comment in our chat, you'll automatically be entered in tonight's live stream giveaway brought to you by A2ZDarts.com, where tonight's raffle winner will receive a $25 gift certificate to A2ZDarts.com. It's like straight cash, homie. Just leave a comment in our chat, hit that like button on our Facebook page to get entered in. There's Jeremy with a hashtag Whammo. He did a great job, but there were no booms, and that's no fun.
Oh, if you saw me in the chat there earlier, I was like, where's all the, or give us a boom for the fans. That's what I said. Doesn't matter where I'm at. Give one.
I know that Nick and I joke about being confused for each other all the time, and it's because of the CSC Challenger Series. And we're happy that I'm not happy I get confused for him, but and I know he's not happy he gets confused for me for sure. But yeah, I've had multiple people message me today about the Whammo stream. Uh, so that's why I made my status what I did with um, I am not at Whammo, but I will always happily support because it's a fantastic event. It's the largest soft tip state dart tournament probably in the US, probably in the world. It's definitely in the US. They're playing in like a freaking stadium. So yeah, it's always a lot of fun. And Will does a great job with the drone footage and all the other uh, stuff that he posts in there. Rachel watching from the world famous Legends Bar in Proctor, Minnesota. So she is there in person watching Corey Beck play.
Yeah, there's some good crowds about these bars here. We'll try to take a look at them when we can. Of course, we do have the Canberra Legends that likes to argue with us a little bit, but after the season is over, we told them we'll give them a good look at it and see what we can do there. But let me tell you, Legends is kind of like filling the spirit of Union Lake Eagles this year, right? The fact of our Michigan friends over there always filled the bar, always went crazy with the big crowd, big celebration, and that's what they've been doing at Legends. So big shout out to Gina and Brett Hollanday for having a good little vibe over there. And of course, Bullsheater is just such a big bar over there in Arizona. So I've been there in person. They do have a big crowd, but they get spread out a lot more with that big of a building there. You can actually see, I believe that is, I believe Mike Bates is somewhere around in the building. I'm not sure if that's him right there or not, but I know there's a lot of good people out there supporting Scarborough.
And you see Mike starting off just kind of doing his job here. Takes out the high ground from Corey. Corey's still with the point lead. Gets the 15s first, so now he can kind of attack those 16s with 2 darts in hand. And he's going to use both of those darts to close that bad boy on out, but advantage Corey Beck here in leg number 1, a 4.67 playing a 4.60. And I'm telling you, when one of them shoots above a 5, the other one's going to shoot above a 5. It's going to be that type of match tonight.
Yeah, and the fact is that it's a 52-point separation. Mike has no chance to have a shot, and now has no chance to be able to have the point lead with 1 dart in hand there. He does put some pressure on Corey, saying, hey, if you miss this, you're going to consider moving back to points. But Corey, if he plays smart here, should be okay. Just needs to be careful on these bulls.
Un más, por favor. And there it is. Leg number 1 goes to Corey Beck. 4.43. Got some. And we got a 1-0 scoreline, buddy.
That we do. And boy, is it going to be a good one tonight. These guys are going to be thrown pretty well. And I expect the averages to continue to go up throughout the night here. You have to imagine, right? We've seen Mike Scarborough average a 5.0 for a CSC season in the past. He's going to want to be near that gear again. And that's just simply because every time Corey gets challenged, he does raise his game just as much. But there has to be a ceiling and there has to be a limit. And if Scarborough's firing on all cylinders, that's what's going to put the pressure on Corey. That's what's going to make him have to perform.
Well, and you got to think about this. No more than a year ago did Mike Scarborough win PPD National Singles Division 1, triple dipping Mike Maloney in the final. So Mike Scarborough has a very high gear. We just have not seen it this season really at all. His highest average is a 4.99, which is right around a 5, don't get me wrong, but definitely not the firepower that we're kind of used to seeing out of Scarborough in seasons past per se, but at the same time, you know that game's in there, and it's going to come out at some point. And if it does, Corey's going to have to fend off some damage. That's for sure.
Well, and part of the reason you also see those average fluctuations, right? I mean, we can acknowledge the fact that when we first saw Mike Scarborough, he had this intense hyper aggression in his throws. Look at that from Corey Beck. Oh my!
Boom goes the Minnesotan.
Getting the first one Corey on Beck, the evening.
The first 9. Over under was 11.5. Let us know. Are you taking the over or the under? It is only leg number 2, and that's the first one. And you know what's funny is I almost said 12, but then I wanted to use a half in there, and I didn't want to do 12.5 because I felt like that was a little much, so I went with 11.5.
Yeah, well, now I hope it's 13 tonight, just so your 12.5 line would have been smarter.
Fair.
Look at this from Corey Beck, really feeling good and trying to prove me wrong early on about the whole high gear comment. So look at that. Playing some good stuff. Someone asking about the payouts here. First place tonight, $2,500. Second place, $1,500. So this is $1,000 money match for all intents and purposes.
Big 7 mark there from Scarborough. Yeah, appreciate the response there, Mike, for us.
Yeah,
man, look at this from Corey. Look at this from Corey.
He's on a tear.
Boom goes the Wisconsinite again. 2 9 marks in this leg, and he is trying to break the throw early of Mike Scarborough, who I know, because I get to preview these interviews, wanted to start out in front.
He is very confident, and he comes off as very confident in his interview. That
as he
being
should be.
said, Corey is just as cool as they come as far as mentality towards the game. I mean, every time I tried to ask him about like these extracurricular things, these extra topics he could be thinking about while throwing, it kind of almost escapes him in the sense that he's just like, I'm here to throw darts. I go to the board, I throw the darts, I come back. Very pragmatic in that sense.
Yeah, and I like the attitude that Scarborough had in his interview. I don't know if he had that swagger, in his last interview. So for him to kind of bring it back for this one, I thought was really good. You can tell that he is he's very, very focused on getting the job done. That being said, Corey Beck, as we get a good view of the zoom in compliments of that random camera at Legends that just decides to have a mind of its own every once in a while.
Here we go.
And
6
Matt,
balls is the shot.
And Matt, I was going to respond to you, but it was a little bit too early to tell everyone about the CSC Challenger Series and how to get involved. But I'll do it in just a minute. Don't you worry. And now it's 3-3. Corey, another opportunity here. 3 bowls.
Two bulls. He already got one. He's
sorry. I forgot that he already had one. My bad.
Okay, Corey says,
I
stop
apologize.
underestimating me, guys. I have the right amount of bulls, and I'm not afraid of Scarborough.
How about a 5.70 defeats a 5.0 in leg number 2, and Corey Beck out to a 2-0 lead and gets that separation from Scarborough rather quickly. And what I mean by that is that now Corey Beck needs to be broken by Scarborough at least once in order for it to potentially go to a last leg decider.
The other thing here, too, is also just the fact of these guys haven't had a match that has felt out of control. Whether you talk about their individual performances, that's one factor, but they've gone to tiebreakers each time, right? We haven't seen what happens to one of these players playing against each other when there's a big window or separation. If Corey can continue this momentum, especially after that start from Mike, this is a complete game changer of how this match could shape up compared to the other 2 times we saw them this season.
Yeah, we saw those averages jump. Just like you should jump into May with the new A to Z Dart of the Month. When you purchase any barrel from the Unicorn Ballista Collection, you will be automatically entered in for a raffle to win a set of Unicorn Noir darts. The giveaway ends June 1st. Good luck to everyone. And if you're looking for a new dartboard, now is your chance. A to Z Darts is offering the Win More Blade 6 bundle, complete with the Blade 6 dartboard, Pro Line surround, and the Blade 6 throw line, which is a raised Aki, which I love, obviously. While you're at it, shop the Luke Humphreys Champion Collection, April Hero launch, and A to Z Darts blog featuring the soft tip dartboard lighting systems. Just head on over to A2ZDarts.com for all of your darting needs. I know that's what I do.
Can we just talk about that back-to-back 2 marks for Scarborough there? He reluctantly shoots the close on the last start to the 20, but Corey, he has to capitalize, and he really hasn't. Both these guys falling flat in what feels like a must-win leg for Scarborough.
Yeah, it's a little bit early to say that. We saw Monday night a 6-2 deficit from Baggish against a PDC professional dart player, and Baggish able to come back in that one. So it goes to show you just a few legs on the spin here in this marathon of a CSC Challenger Series match can really go a long way. And it's got to be in the back of these players' minds that they play each other very tight the majority of the time. And most likely it's going to go to last leg decider no matter how it starts, who's up what. It just seems to fit that way. So I don't think Scarborough is going to be panicking. That being said, he's definitely not going to be panicking now. He throws in his first 9. Boom goes the dynamite for Magic Mike.
Oh, and when I say must win, you're absolutely right. Statistically speaking, we've seen bigger deficits and bigger comebacks. I say must win for the sake of pure confidence as we almost get back-to-back nines there. And it's just if you face a 3-0 down after facing a guy that beat you in the first part of the finals and he already is not happy with the first two leg performance, that's where those intangibles start stacking up. That's where those creeping thoughts really start weighing heavy on your mind. Is those moments. And Corey just hasn't had the pressure on his back in a while. He's kind of playing on house money as he sees it.
Well, I'll let you make the decision here. Do you want Austin Braswell to continue to make comments about your league average this week, or do you want to just say it?
So let
Boom
me
goes
just say
dynamite there for Corey Beck.
Oh, sorry. There's 9 marks happening, Austin. I was about to bring it up, and that was just terrible timing. Yeah, so you can see now Scarborough just
saved by the boom.
Yeah, that's how it felt there. I'm not gonna lie. Big last start on the close
and
there.
A Maloney double.
Guys, I didn't shoot too good in league. After I posted my averages, it's gone down ever since.
That kind of happens when you do stuff like that. Unable to close the 17s. Scarborough might just go for the win anyway. He's a very aggressive player in this. Yeah, and he's going right at it. It could affect him, though, if he misses, but he doesn't. 4.95 defeats the 4.83, and Scarborough gets a leg on the board. Needed to happen, and it does right there. And, man, look at that shiny dome. I am very impressed with how clean-shaven that is.
That's your future, Sean. That's the direction your hairline's heading.
Well, let's put it this way. I've seen myself bald before because of COVID, and I just didn't go to I just shaved it. And I'll be investing in a lot of hats. Maybe have my own hat line just to ensure that I can wear that.
I one time did a buzz cut after dyeing my hair because it's good to let it regrow natural if you dye your hair a lot. Fun fact, everybody. That being said, when I get a buzz cut or shave my head, I look like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill a little too much, and so we can't have that. Unless we get a boom goes the dynamite. Mike Scarborough getting one on the board, or another one on the board.
Oh, nice! You did it.
Yeah.
How'd it feel?
It felt pretty powerful, honestly.
I'm telling you, it's when you say the right cadence. It can come off as really terrible, or it can come off as really good.
Well,
it's never good.
I do have to admit, I've been trying my best to keep track of averages tonight, and I completely forgot last legs. So as much as I've been doing good, it's already fallen off.
495, 483.
49. Which way?
Scarborough at the 495, 483 for Corey Beck.
Wow, that's pretty impressive that you remember that, Sean.
And I didn't write any of it down either. Just because I said it out loud that I remember it.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
I also probably am not right. I'm just trying to act like I'm confident in it. I know it was around that. Hey, speaking of Mike Maloney, there he is with those googly eyes.
We have to speak about Mike Maloney?
No, we don't have to speak about Mike Maloney, but since he's here, we might as well.
Can we just...
Maximum... Boom goes the West. Oh, I'm so sorry. Boom goes the Minnesota in there for Corey Beck.
We're falling apart.
Jeremy, I'm so sorry, Jeremy. I'm an English teacher. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. You go, Nick.
I will say, it's funny enough, and not to boost Mike Maloney's ego because that's already inflated enough as it is. But I will say that honestly, a lot of people had some mixed feelings about how the final ended up playing out. And even Danny Baggish himself posting about the he didn't deserve the win type comments and stuff like that. And Jules taking on the stride saying you still got it done one way or the other.
Yep.
If you look at it and you want that true like emotional ending to the CSC, watch the third place match. Realistically, like as far as average and performance, that definitely had that finals-esque feeling, especially the buildup of history between Mike and Danny. I do highly recommend if you guys maybe missed the third place match but tuned in for the finals, take a look at that because I'm putting it as the unofficial season 6 final for Division 1.
Well, Mike's going to be gone now because he's going to say, don't watch that. At all costs, please, and thank you. That being said, you're right, and a huge shout out to Mike and Danny. They're still signing some great players. Um, it's going well, and I want to give an absolute huge shout out to Danny Baggish, who was the first person to reach out to me when I made the post about coming to my dart club, and then he has confirmed as of yesterday, which I appreciate more than anything, as we get a big 8 mark from Corey Beck, who looks like he's going to take leg number 4. But so he will be there at my dart club tomorrow, and I'm telling you, those kids could not be more thrilled to have him there, especially with him just winning the CSC Challenger Series. So can't tell you how much I appreciate it, buddy. If any other top players want to ever come to my dart club, just please let me know. I'd love to have you there, because those kids need to see some good darts thrown from time to time, because they think that my darts are good, and that is not good.
Yeah, see, when you put the requirement of if any good dart players want to show up, it's really hard, because that means I can't show up. Like, you just
Exactly.
clearly
Yeah, we don't want
uninvited
you
me in the first sentence.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't need messages from those that are at Nick's level, where he just posts one high average of a 4.7 and then never posts anything else. I just would like someone that's going to impress the kids, right? Because it's hard to impress those kids. Let's be fair. They think I am not anything special at all. I'm not, but they also still think that, when they really shouldn't know that I'm nothing special. So
Well, at least we all agree Sean is nothing special, as Corey Beck's playing something special right now. Look at this, 110-point lead in 2 houses. He's making Scarborough just have to continue to work on these bowls, and his back's against the wall here. At some point, he's going to have to take a pot shot. He's going to try to set himself up for that shot.
We almost got to look at it too, as Scarborough gets 5 bullseyes. Let's give Nick a break.
I love my job.
Okay.
I love my job.
Let's give Nick a break, everybody, because he is having to talk to me and do the one button switch. Okay. Sometimes it's easy to forget when that happens.
Here we go. Scarborough's trying to give himself that opportunity. Will he be able to find that opportunity is the question. And if you look at somebody and you're watching them battle on the bulls versus points, at some point you're either going to close from behind and hope that they miss the hat trick, or you're going to try to score up so much in one turn that you can reapproach with the point lead. Unfortunately, neither has really happened for Scarborough. Every time he's pointed up a lot, Corey's been able to answer, and he hasn't really been able to get away from the fact that right now Corey's feeling pretty good as far as his dart throw.
Math wise, there on the last start from Corey, I didn't like, because the single 16 was basically a wasted dart. That's a bullseye that's counted as registered as a 10, so they're going to go and back that bad boy on up.
Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where I don't know what Mike's doing back there, but he's getting his bag. Thank goodness there's a bag hanging there. Otherwise, he's just trying to moon us here. Which you don't put past him, right? That he was just mooning us there on his own. But another bullseye here will get on the point lead.
Does get that point lead here, but now Corey Beck has that single bowl out of the way, knowing that he could take shots earlier. If he gets a first start trip, you expect the immediate move. Single, you can still do the move, just got to be tactful on the delivery. Can't deflect on this last start, and he does it.
And he does it. Solid on the bull so far for Corey Beck. 5.0 in that one to a 4.11 from Mike Scarborough. He takes a 3-1 lead.
And so far, I mean, Corey's numbers are impressive. The 2 times he's averaged less than Scarborough has been a separation of 0.07 and 0.12 separation. And every other time he's just outshot by significant margins. So he's either hanging right there neck and neck or pulling out in front, statistically speaking, so far.
And only a 1 mark start from Scarborough, so a chance early here in this leg for Corey to just kind of steal the throw. Hunter Young asking a question here. Why don't we use the darts live boards with individual hole sensors? Hunter, that might be the one good thing about the darts live boards that I know. Everything else about them, I don't like. I don't like that it has the numbers in different colors and shows even more what a player has to shoot at versus what they have closed. It gives way too much information to players. It'll light up with the out as well, and I don't know if you can get rid of that, but
you can.
I just remember not liking those aspects of that board at all.
Yeah, well, and to give another answer on that, besides just the board itself, Darts Live is not partnered with any of the organizations here in North America. They're not partnered with the National Darting Association or with Partners Promoting Darts. And Partners Promoting Darts runs exclusively on Arachnid boards, and therefore it's unilateral. It's one place for stats. They have a system in place, and so that's the reason why that's the case. This is coming from someone I used to be a Darts Live vendor back in the day, so I actually do like the boards quite a lot, but unfortunately their focus is just not in the North American market, it seems.
If this doesn't change immediately in this leg, it's going to be 4-1 here rather quickly. Corey in front, and that might be a lot for Mike to handle.
Yeah, it's not that Mike can't handle it either. I really wonder what is kind of running through his head. Because it's just one of those things where, like, he has the confidence. He knows he has the darts. And I almost wonder if it's almost too much confidence in the sense of, hey, I shouldn't be in this position. I came into the season feeling like I'm going to win, and now my back's against the wall. I almost wonder if he's starting to psych himself out the other direction.
He could be, but also that's right there. What you're seeing is it's exactly what happened to Danny on Monday, right? He was just wiring the wrong side of things. Mm-hmm. And after the break, Danny started wiring the right side of things. Whereas you see Corey in that corner pocket the exact same way, but it's wiring inside. And in a beautiful game of millimeters, sometimes that's the only difference between who's going to win and who's going to lose. And man, sometimes it happens at inopportune moments where just the whole night is unlucky.
Well, Corey Beck's doing one thing particularly well, which is staying steady. He's not letting his average fluctuate much. He's trying to stay within a 0.5 range. His lowest game being a 4.43, the first one, his highest being at a 5.7. But he's trying to stay right within that half a mark range, only going upwards from that 4.43. He's staying so steady. It's what makes him so competitive, right? It's what makes all these matches so convincing when he does play on the stream. He's just not really giving an edge. You don't see him really drop down for multiple legs at a time, sometimes not even a leg at a time.
Right, and that's why Mike called him last week a nightmare, right? It's because those are the players you don't want to play. You don't want to play the player that is, never going to give you just a free leg. And as much as you want that to be the case, Corey Beck's just not going to do it. He's just not going to open up the door very often. Like, even that door is not really open.
Yeah, he's also not really getting challenged this leg. So that's the other thing is if he's not getting challenged, his focus isn't going to be quite as high. I mean, you look at players, when we talk about like just the consistency across the board, I always say if you look at what a definition of what a 5-0 shooter should be, I use Kenny Doe as a reference. He is not the number one in North America, but for every 5-2 game, his off game is a 4.8. He stays within a half a mark range, and he will maintain that. You don't see him dip much more below. While you look at some of these other top tier 5-0 shots that have big swings at averages, like the Nick Teixeiras of the world. No, I'm just kidding. But so that is part of the reason. And with Corey, we just haven't seen that in Division 2. That's commonplace to see bigger swings of good nights and bad nights. Corey just really hasn't had a bad night.
I would agree with you, and I think he's continued to get better, honestly, throughout the season. Just stronger and stronger. The format he's starting to get more and more used to. Interesting move that he made right there, going all at points after the first start miss. Now he's going to have to hit 2 marks just to get a shot at the bull.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect him to maybe grab a close there. That's one of the reasons why you kind of take the easier shot. Oh, but Corey doesn't find it.
Uh-oh.
Scarborough has to give himself a chance here.
Well, he is. No matter what, he has a chance here.
Right.
He can't win it on this round, but he can really pull ahead.
His chance being that he needs to not only get points, but grab one of the other numbers. Unfortunately, that bull did misregister again, so they're going to have to adjust that. Like this last dart here, with the point lead in hand, a 34-point difference, he could grab a single 17, but 34 is an awkward number because he actually would have to grab the 18s and 17s here to make sure that Corey couldn't tie the score or get ahead in one dart.
Right.
So it's going to be a tough chance. It's going to be a tough shot.
Yeah, and what's ended up happening is Corey's just going to go triple here and or triple and hit the single bull, and it's not going to matter at the end of the day. But um, hardest thing in darts is to be consistent as a dart
Oh,
player, and I think Corey just wanted to refocus himself there.
yeah, I was gonna say
Stepped up.
he walked off. That's not
He just
something you see a confident player do. He seems a little
uh,
shaky.
no, he's fine. He gets the bullseye out of the way first. That's definitely a confident move. And
Oh
there it
wow!
is. 2 darts
I
needed.
stand corrected. What do I know?
4.04. Well, I think in that moment he was just stepping back and just deciding what he was going to do, which is something
was
a
more
confident,
so
smart dart player will do.
not even the step back. What you guys didn't see on camera there is that he also like kind of shook his hand there, right? And almost
Yeah.
like acknowledged that almost telegraphing that was the reason. And nerves doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. In fact, nervousness is the idea of being excited for something with a little bit of anxiety drizzled in, right? So I think it's just one of those. He knows how important a 4-1 lead is in the CSC. I mean, and he's completely broken the spirit of Scarborough. This is insane.
Well, Scarborough is breaking the spirit of Scarborough. He's got to be throwing better than this. That's at the end of the day. I see there's some players in the chat or people in the chat that are talking about his strategy and all that, and I love it. I love that conversation. I will tell you this, that it doesn't matter if you're not able to hit, you know. And right now, that's really what Mike's major problem is. It's not his strategy decisions. It's that he's just not hitting whatever he's shooting at the end of the day. So he's not even able to have a real strategy that he's working with. And that's just what happens when you miss. Mike Maloney. People constantly tell me their bigger problem is consistency. I always respond with, well, yes, that is 100% of every player's problem. It's just relative to your level of play is all. And what Mike, I think, is trying to say there is that consistency and what we're talking about is, for him, yeah, he'll shoot a 6.0, but his floor, his absolute floor, is going to be nothing probably below a 5.2, 5.3. And that's where he is excelling as a dart player, is that his consistency of his floor remaining so high. It means that every time you play him, you're going to have to work above a 5.3 if you expect to even be competitive. And that's if you hope that he throws bad.
Well, it's also just the range, right? It's that peaks and valleys conversation, you know, and
Yep.
He's absolutely right in pointing out the consistency of everyone's problems. It's also a little bit of the vernacular of how we define dart players. Like, is a 4.0 dart player really someone who has a seasonal average of a 4.0? Because that also means that they're going to have matches that dip into the 3.5, 3.6s. Or is a player that is averaging maybe like the median of their throw is a 4.0 and there's sometimes a 4.5 and a 3.5. Like, that it all comes down to definition and semantics. Consistency absolutely is everyone's problems in darts, and that will never change. It's not something you can fix. It's something you can minimize how much it works against you at the end of the day.
Eddie, you're probably not wrong there. And I think Scarborough's lost a lot of consistency in his game. Just overall, that's why his average has dropped, right? So, and I don't mean just this leg or just this match. I just mean over the last 5-6 months for him to have the average that he currently has. This is still anyone's ball game. 4-1 lead is again nothing in the CSC Challenger Series, and it looks like right now Scarborough in control of this one, a little bit behind in points, but definitely the higher ground here and the more wedges.
And in Scarborough's defense here, a part of the reason for the average drop could also easily be the fact that, well, you guys are talking about how his aggressive play in the chat, which he is playing aggressive. I'm not going to discredit that. His form of aggressive play used to be even more so in the past. When we called him the Giant Killer moniker, when you referenced when he won the Nationals Division 1, that was also during the peak of him playing these very short, very aggressive, close first mentality games. And when you switch to a more elongated strategy with a little bit more points, your average might go down just a little bit because the games are going longer, and that means more marks you have to hit to maintain the same average.
Yep. Hey guys, if you want to be involved in this conversation or just cheer on your favorite person like Crystal just did, you can be automatically entered in tonight's live stream giveaway brought to you by A2ZDarts.com, where you will receive a $25 gift certificate to A2ZDarts.com if you win that drawing tonight. Just leave a comment in our chat, hit that like button on our Facebook page, and you will be entered in for your chance to win the Straight Cash Homie $25 gift certificate.
Love the shot here from Corey Beck, going right at the closes here. He's basically flipping the coin. He's saying, I'm going to take the coin flip here. He could have instead tried to throw for 4 bulls and given himself the shot in that way instead of going for close first to get the point lead. But when you shoot it like this, it's basically saying, Scarborough, you're struggling a little bit. Now you need to have the confidence to hit this hat trick. Unfortunately, he does not collect on this last start to find the pressure bull.
But still, 4-3 is pressure for Scarborough.
Certainly.
Jacob Outelfinger in the chat here. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, my friend. And Scarborough's not gonna hit the 3 bulls. So Corey Beck, man, this would be a huge moment. 4 bulls needed.
Oh,
I don't even know where that was. Oh, there's the first.
Oh, he kind of tried to hop it in there and just dropped it low in the last start. Scarborough knows he kind of got away with that. Corey going 1 for 3 on those last couple darts there, or 1 for 4 because he also shot on the previous turn as well.
Yep, and if you would just hit that, I don't know. We'll see. But 3.46 is not going to win very many legs at all in the CSC Challenger Series. So Scarborough, that was a bit magical for him to win with that. 4-2 score line here. This is our leg number 7 right before we take the break and hear from both of our players. Nick, what has surprised you the most so far in this match, bud?
Honestly, it's just Scarborough's performance in general, right? I mean, I expected Corey to have this level of consistency. These last 2 legs not being as representative of it, but Corey's been playing about the same gear, same level, same speed these last now 3 stream to matches. Scarborough just has yet to have a stream to match this season where you really feel like he's thrown to his proper ability. And I thought that was going to be tonight for sure. And it still can be tonight. But so far, it's not been the case for the first half of this match. Only having a couple of he's had 2 games below a 4 so far. You expect him to have almost 0. But he does find all 3 there. Getting a boom.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Dynamite. There you go.
Hey, huge shout out to Finn in the chat on YouTube saying, sorry, I'm late. I was studying. Finn is one of my former students and Dart Club kiddos. Hey, Finn, tomorrow after school, Danny Bag is just going to be at the middle school. If you just want to come over and say hi, just letting you know. I know you're studying for things. You used to not do that when you were my student. I don't know what's changed, but
you got better teachers, probably.
Just saying. You weren't in Dart Club? But oh yeah, that's right. You just watched the whole time. It was hilarious.
He said,
that's why it was the best part.
Well, Finn sounds like he's talking to his people. I hope
there you go.
You guys know.
He goes, I'm well aware.
Oh, Finn.
What's up, Alan? Chris Trinidad, aloha, my friend.
Oh, Scarborough not happy. He needed 2 marks to get the point lead there. Only grabs the 1 on the 19, having to close from behind. It's a 5-point difference. Can Corey make this one hurt? He goes on the second dart, and see, here's the problem with the shot in that order there, in my opinion, is that you have that first one, bottom left corner pocket, the trip 17, plenty of room for that dart to find another one in there. You're already going to throw 2 darts at the point. You're never going to take more than 1 dart at the 19. You should probably stay there for the first 2 before taking that look, because it also affects your last dart if you trip or just hit a single or miss.
Yeah, but at the same time, did you like the way Mike just did that? Because it was the exact same thing. He just actually hit the triple to close.
But that's more attuned to Scarborough's strategy, right? Corey has more of a traditional approach to a lot of the game.
Well, that was traditionally an 8 mark there for Corey Beck. He says, what you talking about, Nick?
Hey, listen, the best strategy you could have in darts is hitting what you're aiming at. Everything else is just to account for how you can miss best, and that is how you should think about cricket strategy: is how can I miss best, and otherwise just hit what I'm aiming at. Because if you hit everything, it doesn't matter, and I know we'll win every leg.
Fair. It's also impossible, but fair.
You know what I meant.
7's all that's needed for Corey Beck. And listen, potentially about to take a 5-2 lead heading into the break. But Scarborough has been able to work these bowls up until this point. He can just go right at it for the win, right?
Yeah, there's no reason not to here. You have the house, you have the confidence. Unless your first two miss, that's the only reason you would go off the bull here. You expect Corey to just try to get done and dusted right here.
Especially because 116 does not add anything. I think he just stepped back and just did the math real quick to see. He gets a 16. It didn't add anything. Now one would.
Well, the dart still wanted the 16 morally, but I think Corey still wanted the bull. Yeah, Ryan O'Flynn proving that Sean's wrong. 9-0 is possible in the CSC with round out. Yeah, 9. If you can play 20 rounds shooting only 9 marks, you shouldn't be in the CSC. You should be like Luke Littler, probably.
No, your name is Luke Littler, if that's the case. This is the only thing that would make any sense.
I will say
20 round straights of that.
20 rounds of 9 marks would be the day I retire, right? Like, we will not catch anything better on film if someone does that.
Yeah, let's see that trick shot, Scarborough. And Corey Beck does take that 5-2 lead. Minnesota on top of Arizona early in the CSC Challenger Series. What does Mike Scarborough have to do to get back in this, Nick? What is he going to do in this break?
Drink, probably. No, seriously, it's just he has to reframe his mentality here. You could tell that he's still feeling every dart, and we're getting really frustrated by the situations he's putting himself in. The best thing that he could possibly do right now is spend 8 minutes not thinking about this match. And that's really what I mean. Like, he just needs to reset and reapproach this as if it's a brand new match here, and he's starting with a handicap at a disadvantageous position.
All right, well, that's the last time I asked Nick a question before we go into the break, because that was a long-winded answer. But we'll be right back after these interviews. Don't go anywhere, guys. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Sean Green, Nick Durachi DeShera, back with more right after this.
I'm Mike Scarborough. I'm playing out of Bullshooters for Troy Vending.
Well, the Shirtless Wonder joins us again one last time, for real this time, in CSC Division 2 for our finals. And Mike, last time we saw you as part 1 of the finals. Can you talk us through that match?
It's a blur, man. Like, I was having, I'm not here to make excuses. It is what it is. I got punched right in the mouth, and I'm awake. Let's go.
And I know you wanted it done last week. I mean, who wouldn't, right? But Corey still ended up prevailing on top. Do you think last week's loss will lead to this week's motivation?
I don't think last week has anything to do with this week. I'm going to go and I'm going to throw 3 darts at a time. And if they're smooth, I'm going to win.
And many would still call you a favorite. They called it since preseason when we were looking at Division 2. And now going into this final, even part 2 of it, people are still picking you as the favorite. Do you agree with that? Why or why not?
I agree with that. I'm the best player in this bracket from a skill point, from a heart standpoint, just knowing what I need when I need it. I show up to these. It would not be a Mike Scarborough final without a little bit of drama, and drama we have.
And of course, you're facing Corey Beck once again. No surprises here. What's going to be the game plan, and why is it to not get to a last league decider this time?
I don't care how many games it takes. I'm going to win 9 of them. My game plan is to be in front with everything closed and have the most points at the end of each game. But I'm going to take this, one step at the plan at a time.
Well, it sounds like a solid strategy to me. And I know I asked this question last week, but I'm going to have to ask it again now. If you win, is the shirt staying on?
Anything else?
Anything you want to say to your friends, fans, family, or anyone else watching along?
Yeah, I want to say if you're in the Phoenix area, come out to check out Toso's Bar. This we're going to be streaming out of in the future. And I want to say thanks, Chris and Juju over at Monster. They're always on it, helping me get to Korea. I'm ready to go.
Well, Mike Scarborough, we're excited to have you on our show one last time this season. A winner will be crowned. We will see who shares that honor with Danny Baggage in the CSC for season 6. And all we can do is wish you nothing but the best of luck in your match.
I'm Mike Scarborough, and you're watching the CSC Challenger Series.
Dartboard lighting systems that work with soft tip boards, starting with what I'm calling your best value option, the 180 Illumina lighting system. Quick clarification, you cannot purchase the cheaper light version, LITE, but the more durable and robust normal Illumina lighting system is going to work since it mounts to the wall. If you want to upgrade to the ultimate setup, we'd recommend the Target Corona Vision lighting system, plus conversion kit that is compatible with most grand boards. This is basically a zero installation option. No power tools are needed. You're not mounting the light to the dartboard or the wall. You just assemble the legs to the light when you buy it, and then when you buy the conversion kit, it's magnetic. Just snaps right onto the leg, and the 4 prongs push into the dartboard. Here are 2 budget-friendly options. Number 1 is the Target Arc light, not the cabinet light, but just the light by itself, which clips to the dartboard directly. So I have the Target Arc light under the Illumina, giving it more stability by accident, but if it was on its own, it'd be a little wobbly on the board. You can see the lights illuminating like half of the board, and it's certainly in danger of falling if you bump into the board or retrieve your darts too hard. The GLD Shadow Buster. This is our most budget-friendly option. It was designed to screw onto the top of a cabinet, and then it can swivel downward to illuminate the board, and also swivel upward and fold it all the way down to be out of the way in case your cabinet doors are a little bit taller than the top of the cabinet. That's it, folks. 4 total lighting options for soft tip dartboards. See you next time.
My name is Corey Beck. I play out of Legends in Proctor, Minnesota. I play for Midwest Coin Concepts out of Superior, Wisconsin.
Well, welcome back one last time. Corey Beck taking on Mike Scarborough tonight for the finals of Division 2. And last time we saw you in part 1 of the finals, it was down to the wire once again. Can you talk us through that match, Corey?
You know, it was, yeah, like you said, it was down to the wire. You know, he broke me right at the end and forced a last game decider, last leg decider. And fortunately, I came away with it.
And that you did, and many people called Mike Scarborough a favorite when you looked at the beginning of the season, and even going into the finals, some were calling him a favorite. But between both of you guys going to last league deciders each time you've played, and the fact that we're still talking and interviewing right now, would you call him a favorite? If not, who would you call the favorite tonight?
I don't know that I would call a favorite. Mike's a phenomenal player. I mean, he and I have, well, as of right now, we are dead even. So, you know, we'll see.
Of course, I'm gonna ask this question. We know your answer, but tonight you're facing Mike Scarborough. What's gonna be your game plan to come out on top?
Well, I'm gonna really try hard not to get broke. That being said, hold my throw and do the best I can.
And if you win tonight and it is over, there's no more one match at a time. This is the last match. You win, become champion. First part, how much would that mean to you, honestly? And second part, will you do the Mike Scarborough taking the shirt off?
Absolutely not. Yeah, no, I'm way too old to be taking my shirt off. Yeah, winning would, you know, anyone who says any less would be lying. You know, it'd mean the world for sure.
And is there anything you want to say to your friends, fans, family, or anyone else watching along?
Yep, I would like to thank Legends Bar, my sponsors, Dead Man Dart Supplies, Midwest Coin Concepts, Kristen and Gina, of course, my tech and support, and mostly my wife and my daughter. And I also have an honorable mention for my Uncle Brad.
Well, it is time to decide who joins Danny Baggage in being a Season 6 champion this time for Division 2. Will it be Mike Scarborough or will it be Corey Beck? Arizona, Minnesota, this is all what it comes down to here. And Corey, all we can do is wish you the best of luck in your match.
My name is Corey Beck, and you're watching the CSC Challenger Series.
Here we go. The darts are on, and so are we. Excited for this one here as we're in the second half. And right now, Corey Beck doing some great work, just maintaining his cool and really playing well. And Scarborough, unfortunately, has just not been able to answer in the way that he wants to. So it's really going to come down to the question of, can Mike snap back, right? Can he really get himself settled and play at the ability of which we're known he's capable of? You heard from the players of the interview. Mike came into us with a lot of confidence, and he still has that confidence. You almost wonder how much of that is him trying to shake off his own nerves by trying to hype himself up here, as it's about the time to answer that question. Looking at the first 7 legs here, Mike Scarborough, shocking average, as he's only shooting a 4.17, well below his margins of where we normally see him, and he knows that he has to course correct quickly. He has had a couple of good legs in there, a 5.0, a 4.95, and a 4.5, but the rest of his legs being below that standard. Corey here averaging so far after 7, 4.64, so bang on the average. His highest leg being at that 5.7, and he also had another leg at a 5.0, and then he had a couple of lower ones as well, but so far averaging just about a half a mark per round more.
Hey, Hollywood, are you going to ever introduce me into this again, or are you just going to keep talking the whole time?
Sean had to go get water as soon as the break was over, and he spent the first 8 minutes of the break quoting movies that I haven't seen, and then realized that he forgot that he was thirsty, and then told me to fill the air till he got back. So hi, Sean, how are you?
No, that's not what happened at all, guys. He just wanted to keep going. Just keep going. Chris Beck in the chat there. I think that's the missus. Got to be the support system behind Corey that's been with him this whole time, saying, let's go. 5-2 right now. PBD player advantage rule not in effect yet, per se. Because if Mike wins this leg, Corey will go first.
We're right at the edge of it where that will start coming into play here. But if you're Scarborough, a preseason favorite and a favorite going into the finals, you don't want to have that rule change go into effect, because it's almost a mentality thing at this point. I mean, you just want that confidence saying, I don't need no stinking going first player advantage BS. But the fact is, he hasn't recouped coming back from this break.
And I know exactly what you're doing. I'm just messing with you again. You're absolutely right. That being said, did he just miss the board going for a trip 18? I'm going to guess he went for the double.
It hit the wire. It like deflected kind of weird.
And then it did like the flight.
It kind of like slapped in a weird way. He's not that far off the margins.
I feel like that's a backhanded compliment. You kind of slap in a weird way.
Definitely said that to a couple of girls I went on dates with in the past.
Nick. And we're back to the awkwardness that is Nick Darachi to share. Dang it. Chris is the brother, not the missus. That's even better.
So close.
Listen, I'm so sorry, Chris. You look like your brother in your picture, by the way. I just want you to know that.
We also, for the record, it's very small pictures that we get to see relative to everything that we're looking at here.
Well, Mike with a big needed 7 mark. Corey going to stay there for dart 2. And now he'll stay there for all of them. Yeah, hits 7 of his own. Good response, but the high ground favoring Scarborough.
And Scarborough's done a good job of picking it up. After the 18 segment there, you saw his average dipping pretty low, and you can tell he's trying his best to get everything firing back on all cylinders. And what a shot it is as he does start firing back on all cylinders, finding a 3 triples. That almost made sense.
Boom goes the dynamite. Just let me do it when that stuff happens. But
yeah, leave it to the big dogs. My bad. I know better.
Right here, back to back. Boom goes the dynamite again.
Oh boy, what a season it's been, Sean. It's been a long one.
All I know is I would take either of these guys on my trivia team this evening, because they both have fantastic answers for each other. A 5.43 to beats a 5.83. here in CSC Challenger Series Division 2. And it's 5-3 now.
Yeah, that's good stuff there from Scarborough, really picking it up in the latter half of that leg and showing everybody in chat that may have not seen him play this year show what he's capable of when he really dials in. And hopefully that little reprieve right there will help him feel like he can push through the situation that he's currently in this match.
And Corey Beck starts off with 7 of them.
So, Sean, with this being the last match of the season, that is
buddy.
Been a really good season. Let's be honest. Can we talk about some of our favorite moments? Do you have anything that comes to mind when you're like, you know what, this is some of the defining moments of season 6 here, or at least ones that stuck with you?
No, not really.
All righty, guys. Wise words of Sean Green.
I'm sure I do. I'm trying to think through the season at a certain point, right? It all kind of runs together. What do you got? You give me one and I'll probably agree with it.
Yeah, no, certainly. I would say, and I say this each season, it's kind of a cop-out as far as Division 2 is concerned, but just how much the bottom line average has to rise up each season is insane. To think there was a timeline where I was one off from qualifying in the CSC in the past, and I've never held an average higher than a 4.1, and now you have to be a 4.5 or higher to qualify for Season 7 is currently how it's shaping up. Just how much the bar is raised for the season, I think is phenomenal. I love all the new additions. The fact is, Corey Beck kind of, making his way back out into the dart scene after kind of having a sabbatical for many years, and seeing a player like him do a run like this is what the show is about. And of course, having an all new finals with Danny and Jules in there, regardless of what the numbers put up or not, that is exciting when it happens, because we've had meetings before where we've talked about, like, will Soldier win every season? Will Maloney win every season? How do we spice it up? But every time we just get surprised with how good the new incumbents are and how well everyone plays.
Well, right. We had 4 new finalists this season, right? Mike Scarborough, has he made a finals
No, you're absolutely right in saying
in
that.
either season? So, which is really cool, especially because you kind of do have Mike Scarborough, who's been that season guy from season 1, fight all the way here to get to this moment. And then you have 3 newcomers this season for the first time in season 6, putting in work early and often. And honestly, it's a testament to whatever leagues or other types of formats these guys are able to play, because a race to 9 all cricket is no joke. And I know that it would take a good hot minute to get used to that type of a format. So for these new players to come in and be able to just kind of roll with this kind of interesting one of a kind format is pretty respectful.
It's also, funnily enough, as the CSC continues to progress and Corey Beck does get this leg on the board here. Wow.
Back-to-back 5+ in the last 2 legs here for Corey.
Yeah, and
he's up 6-3.
The fact that Mike there, after throwing the 5-4-3, drops back down to a 3 is concerning. Absolutely there for him. Completely lost my train of thought there, but I was about to say something really smart and profound, and you guys are just going to go with that, okay?
Totes my goats, man. Asa Alaminje.
Oh,
all right, Mike Scarborough.
I was going to say, it's funny that our unique format of the CSC is becoming less unique in the best possible sense. And I love that other tournaments are getting into longer formats, especially on the soft tip side of things, and it's more easy to find best of 3s than best of anything else, right? So to see these longer formats kind of get adopted by other tournaments and different versions of it, it's really cool to see that that's becoming more commonplace, because I do think it's also key to helping players get better for longer format play, and that's key if you want to go overseas as well.
Exactly. And you could not have said it better yourself there.
Probably could have said it a little better.
Nah, never. You know how it goes. But hey, let's talk about what's coming up next for us, because yes, it's our last CSC match of the season, but June 10th we'll start the WCCS season 2 and go through those qualifiers real quick. Huge shout out Chrissy Grimmel, Olivia Terry, Meredith McGee, Hunter Smith, Cheyenne Richards, Lane Lyzak for the first time getting in there, Jamie Nowak, Donna Gagan, Stacy Tulloch, Heidi Nelson, Caitlin Myers getting in there, Alyssa Evans, Stacy Shelton, Christina Rodriguez, another first timer, Kelly Sipe, and Carolyn Noguchi are the 16 qualifiers for that. Shout out to you ladies. Well done indeed to get qualified. It's going to be a doozy.
It's going to be a great doozy indeed. I'm excited for the WCS, CCC, WSC, CSW, whatever acronym we're going with, to come back just because it's super cool to have the women on the stream. But also, if I had to pick an early indication of a player to watch out for, I watched Heidi Nelson play against Kenny Doyle and Austin Braswell last night in the No Cap Doubles League. It was Heidi Nelson and Jason Hawkinson. And they played 2 matches. I only watched the first one, but the first match that they were playing, Jason Hawkinson and Heidi Nelson were whooping up Kenny Doyle and Austin for a little bit there. And she was throwing some of the best arts I've seen her throw, and just unprecedented stuff in general there.
Well, boom goes the dynamite for Heidi Nelson and Mike Scarborough there. We're at 10-9 marks. 11.5 was not a good number. It's looking to be. Keith Williams, it's June 10th. We'll start the WCCS. And
it's every Monday.
Lou, don't know the answer to that one. You've been married for probably a long time, so I'm going to guess that's not the first time for sure. Paul, to answer your question, I can't answer that question. That's like picking between my 2 stepbrothers. It's
I'm going to mute you, Sean.
Lesser of 2 evils.
I'm going to mute you to the chat. You can just tell me the answer, okay?
All right.
You're muted.
Will.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you now so you can say your pick again.
I'm going to guess you never muted me, so that's why I said Will.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Anyways.
It was a good try, though.
Well, we all bring something different to the table. Between Sean, Will, myself, anybody that we work with in commentary, because there's others as well, we all just have very different approaches. So any combination is always different and exciting for us.
Well, Scarborough lights out there, 5.33, and he makes it 6-4. The last time we had a 6-4 score line, that was Danny Baggish with 4, and Jules Van Dongen with 6. So I'm not saying anything, but this is far from over. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Scarborough 2 for 3 after the break so far. Good spot to be in if you're him. It shows that you're definitely picking up momentum. But, of course, those were both holds a throw. So he's going to have to do it on a break here.
That was an interesting move there from Corey, but I'm going to guess it was because of being blocked on the trebles more so than anything else strategically. But look at this, attacking the throw a little bit. Mike Scarborough.
Yeah, I love that shot. I don't love the order he shot it in, but I do love that shot, all things considered. There, it forces Corey to have to collect a big turn here, and he hates the position of that first start. That's why he was so quick to go to those 19s to close. So now Scarborough's effectively taking the throw and said, all right, now I get to go first this leg.
All right, so I got to be honest with you.
I prefer if you are.
I don't mean this in a negative way to anyone at Bull Shooters. There's just a lot of boards there. So I'm making an assumption that probably is not correct, but it is interesting that a person is throwing on the board directly next to Mike Scarborough. That a match is going on right there on that board right next to Mike. Obviously, I don't think he has any care in the world with something like that. But it's just an interesting thing to point out that's happened in the last 5 minutes or so.
To be the counterpoint here, the devil's advocate is maybe it just helps simulate that normal league night feeling, though. Having those people next to somebody. I'm not saying that Mike would specifically say, hey, I want you to play next to me, but it does kind of help almost take the spotlight off you a little bit. And with a dome like that, you don't want the spotlight on too long or you might get blinded.
Blinded by the light.
Rev up like a nice person in the middle of the night.
There you go. At least you get music references.
I love
you don't
music.
live completely under a rock.
The Rock had an iPod.
Corey, is he staying up there? He is, and he goes outside of the Maloney double. Thanks a lot, Mike. As Mike Scarborough says, thanks a lot, Mike, to step up here. Looking at the 18s first. He's going to be very aggressive.
Yeah, and that's
aggressive.
His most confident version of himself is when he is aggressive.
It's exactly correct, which is why for him, his strategy is going to be that. And hit or miss, he's not going to kind of deviate from what he does.
Yeah, and that's
and Todd, you're not wrong.
Good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to not change your plan too much, because you don't want to make yourself uncomfortable with what you're doing as far as shot selection, because that's one of the most controllable variables out of all of them.
1,000%. And let me ask you a question. How much do you think it means to Corey to win this season with his good buddy and partner? I don't know if they actually play league together or whatever, but Brett Hollanday is already a CSC Division II champion. To get his first in there takes away those bragging rights.
He's very well aware of the fact that there's a little bit of state pride that comes into everything. And when we talked in the interview about what this means to you, his answer is actually slightly longer. And unfortunately, some of those answers, if you guys are curious, get cut just for time reasons. But he talks about how he knows this is a big deal. And honestly, his entire approach to tonight is to try to not think about how this is a big deal. And his calculated one match at a time answers every time I ask him something about the future of the tournament run. He knows that there's a lot of people that watch the show. He knows that it's a hard competition to do this in. It will mean the world to him. It will say, hey, you know what? I'm a fit. Like only a couple of years ago, he came off his dart sabbatical and started playing again. And to win this big of a title as so soon into your comeback is a great sign that you made the right decision to come back to darts. That's what he's thinking about.
1,000%. What I'm thinking about as you were talking is that Mike Scarborough basically just gave away the leg. He was like, here, you have it. And because he closed the 15s with the first two darts before even taking a shot at points, down all those points, it just was definitely a weird kind of backwards way to shoot that. That being said, maybe he just was ready to move on. 388 playing a 363. So that's the second time a 3-point something has won a leg of darts here in this final. The scrappy play coming through, but that time it goes to Corey Beck. 7-4 scoreline. He's now 2 legs away from the title. This is where the John Part closer to the finish line than you are to your opponent. You're in trouble strategy kind of comes into play.
Well, and you talked about Mike giving away that leg there. He needs to break throw here. He's only done 2 holds, two gives in this post break section, and he has to break throw. There's no other options. There's no other ways to approach this. He just simply needs to start outgunning Corey here. And the hyper aggression isn't going to phase Corey nearly as much as it can others, especially at this point. Corey's going to be in too comfortable position, and unless he gets some crossing the finish line anxiety if he gets to match point, Scarborough simply just has to throw better, and there's no other way to kind of sugarcoat that one.
1,000%, but they both start off with 2 marks there. Sugar Shane Johnson agreeing me there on the Mike Scarborough decision from earlier. Because that was just even against his aggressive strategy, you know. It was just kind of out of the realm of what he doesn't have to do what typically would happen, but it was the opposite way of trying to win a leg. It's what it looked like more than anything else. But he picks it up right there, 7-4 scoreline. And you're right. I think that unless Corey starts to look ahead to the finish line, I think he's in pretty good shape no matter what happens in this leg as he gets 3 in the bed. Boom goes the 7s there for Corey Beck, but that's not going to get him anything.
Yeah, not going to make any differences here. This is, again, going to be in our leg where Mike's just going to try to hold the throw. Whoop. Even there, though, that was not a tactful dart. I mean, is it for him to miss that? But you expect Mike to still have a pretty good advantage in this leg, just looking at the board state here. But let's go through the scenario, right? Mike wins this leg. He makes it 7-5. He has struggled to break Corey's throw, and I don't believe he has breaking Corey's throw this entire match.
He has not.
So to be
And
in that
Corey's broken
situation
him
is
twice.
so tough. But you and I both know the easiest thing for a dart player to do is just, you know what, out of left field, all of a sudden something clicks towards the end of the match. You know, Corey starts having that hesitancy crossing the finish line and Mike smells blood in the water. It could be as simple as that to change the dynamic of everything. Obviously, Corey here rattled a little bit in this leg and kind of continuing the same performance from last leg, which was the 3-8-4.
I hate to say this, man. Corey's struggling really hard in this leg, right? But Mike's only throwing a 3.5. The way he's kind of throwing and doing some of the stuff he's doing, hopefully this is not the case, but he's seeming a little almost checked out. And again, I don't want to say that,
I would agree with
but I don't think there's anything that's showing otherwise right this second. A 3.8 right now is dominating this leg, but that's only because his opponent's throwing a 1.5.
Well, and so far tonight, not counting this leg, Corey's only one singular game out of all the games we've seen so far. Out of the 11 games played, has only been more than 0.5 away from the Mike's average on the losing side of the affair, and on the winning side of the and then Mike on the other hand has had 3 different legs where he's over half a mark lower in average at the end of the leg. That's the difference makers. That's the one we talk about, those floors, ceilings, and consistency. Where the losing legs are just lost significantly. A 3-2 versus a 5-2-9 should not be the case in the finals. And these players are aware of that. And that's the other problem, is they're beating themselves up about it when it does happen.
Yeah, Corey's going to step back here and just going to regroup. He's more getting ready for the next leg. I think we all kind of know that at this point. And I think the part of Mike being able to he was kind of able to throw a little bit more nonchalant in this leg, knowing what Corey was doing earlier on. But he pulled it together when he needed to. A 3.95 at the end of the day is not bad. Not bad at all. And he's got himself right back in this 7.5 again. But he's got to break the throw. I feel like he's got to break a throw right here.
Well, and this will show us where Corey's head is at too. Is how well does he start this leg? That leg for him to lose doesn't necessarily matter, but the 2.67 is mildly alarming, right? Will he be able to just shake that last leg off, have the short memory, and start off strong? Because if he just has to hold. You're exactly right, Sean.
This is a must-win leg for Scarborough, because he's only going to get potentially 3 more opportunities to break the throw of Corey Beck before this thing's over. So he has to get one of the 2. He has to get 2 out of those 3 to get us to the last leg decider. So he's got to get one of those here.
Yeah, we will see how this one plays out, as the second half of this match has been a little bit more even keel as far as back and forth nature here. Now, let me ask you this, right? On the inverse, you're over here and you're watching Corey, and you're trying to make sure Corey stays settled going into the finish line here. And he comes up to you and says, Sean, I want some advice here. You're my coach in the corner. What are you saying to him?
To Corey or Mike? Sorry.
To Corey.
Oh, man, just keep playing your game. Who cares about that last leg? It's over. It was a hold a throw for Scarborough. It doesn't matter to you. You could throw zeros in the legs that you're attempting to break the throw, and it makes 0 difference to what you're trying to accomplish here. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. Stay consistent. You'll be fine. And if I'm Mike, it's attack. You got to attack now. There's any opening that Corey gives you, you have got to just attack it and throw your best darts, because you're not going to get too many of them. And Gina, you are the coach.
You
always
are, Gina.
The coach.
We know. Well, this is purely our.
We just can't mic you up right this second for it. We can't mic you up right now for it.
Actually, joining us on the mic right now. No, imagine Gina was just sitting here the whole time and we just forgot to introduce. We couldn't forget her. Oh, look at this from Corey right here. Look at that
big darts
shot.
Boom goes the 8 mark for Corey Beck. 111 playing 73.
38-point difference here, meaning that Mike needed to get trip to have a shot at the 17s with the points. Will not happen. Ooh, he stops himself from throwing that last dart, and that's a good stop if you're going to do it, right? You have to close.
I like that he's laughing at himself about that.
That's a huge
and a good last
course
dart.
correction. 6-point difference now does change the shot.
And what I was going to say earlier at the start of this leg is that I knew that Corey was going to be fine. He turns around, he gets all the cheers from all of his people there in the background watching along, and man, you're seeing it. He is just cruising right now. Sometimes the support gets you across that finish line more than anything else. And we've seen it a lot from Corey's side of things.
Couldn't agree more, Mr. Green. I don't mind going for the close on that last dart there. Again, it's a big risk. If you hit it, that's phenomenal, but it's because he's within one bull. That's why you would take that shot. The fact of the matter is now Corey can still start at the bulls here, and he's only going to pivot if he misses. He should go ahead and pivot on this last dart here, and he does.
Yep. Smart dart.
You can see Scarborough just kind of almost having a little bit of a grin, knowing the work he's going to have to do to be able to get out of this spot.
Well, yeah. Well, now it's easy, right? Just got to win 4 straight now, Mike.
It does it really does kind of take the pressure off you, because at that point, there's no expectations of who's supposed to win when a player's on match point like that. Makes it a little bit easier.
They always say the hardest leg to win is the last one. And for Corey, these next 4 legs are potentially his last one. Scarborough back against the wall. He's got to hold his throw first and just stay focused.
Sean, did you forget, by the way?
What?
Well, just don't forget. A to Z Darts is featuring the Unicorn Ballista darts as their May dart of the month. Jump into May with the new A to Z darts of the month. Oh my gosh, wow. When you purchase the barrel from, I'm struggling with this. When you purchase any barrel from the Unicorn Ballista collection, you automatically be entered into a raffle to win a set of Unicorn Noir darts. Giveaway ends June 1st. Good luck to everyone. A to Z Darts is also offering the Win More Blade 6 bundle, complete with the Blade 6 dartboard, Pro Line Surround, and the Blade 6 throw line. While you're at it, shop the Luke Humphreys Champion Collection, April Harrow's launch, and the A to Z blog feature soft tip board lighting systems. Wow, I'm reading so good. Just head over to a-zdarts.com for all your dart needs. That's a-zdarts.com.
And you guys think it's easy, don't you? Don't you?
So can I, behind the curtain, I normally always practice the ad reads beforehand. I completely forgot about that tonight. And it shows that, like, if my other ones were with practice, I knew that wasn't going to be good.
Maya goes, throw him a life raft.
The boy's struggling. I will say I did drop out of high school. So was the expectations ever that high?
You know
Just
what?
kidding.
Fair.
Finn,
That's fair
if
play
you're
to you.
listening still, don't drop out.
No, definitely not, Finn.
I
Hey,
did still go to
do you
college.
want to know? Do you want to know how to become eligible to play major PPD events like the CSC Challenger Series?
Here, I got it. Do you want me to read it?
No. Players become eligible for those by playing in PPD leagues or daily remote tournaments, which are called DRTs. Leagues are starting daily, so get involved by going to dartstoc.com and checking out the map. The map will show any location with G3 boards within the PPD system. If you're not seeing anything in your area, just have your vendor contact them on the website. From there, you can sign up for leagues on the website. Doesn't take a ridiculous amount of games to be eligible either. Consistently playing 1 league a week will keep a player eligible for this event in the future. Again, go to dartstoc.com to get signed up today.
Did you purposely just want to do a better read after my read, and that's why you wanted to read that right there? Is that what happened?
What's up, Johnny? I might make the trip over there for a day. And yeah, I heard you, but I'm not going to respond. That being said, you know that I've memorized that, so it's not actually reading anything. I just wanted to do the one that I knew I could do. Scarborough needs to win this leg, baby. Needs to win this one.
I agree, and don't call me baby.
He's not getting close, baby.
Oh boy. Here's the thing. Not that this is over yet, although Corey is looking pretty sharp in this leg so far as he finds the 18s and back up to the 20s there. I do like that nice conservative shot, knowing that the hard part is yet to come of crossing that finish line. If Mike watches this back and here's our subpar commentary, listen to me right here, Mr. Scarborough. One match, one performance, one final does not define your ability as a dart player, obviously you're a top tier dart player. I mean, you're going to Korea for darts. You have to be a top tier dart player if that's the case, to be able to represent your country in that. And to any player that has a bad session or a bad day, just know that that doesn't define what your darts are capable of, who you are, and it just is motivation for the next time you get an opportunity to play in a finals of your local tournament, a big tournament, the finals of your house game against your friend that never plays darts. So it doesn't matter what it is. You just can't think about that. You have to have a short memory when it comes to playing the game of darts, but also short memory with some of the lows in darts as well. And tonight for Mike does feel a little bit like a low, statistically speaking.
Well, for sure. I mean, the statistics are really going to point that out. But at the same time, Corey's still shot phenomenal overall. You really can't put too much past the fact that he has been brilliant the last 4 weeks that we've seen him on stream. Starting with Brett Hollanday, and then, of course, Tyler Hensey. And then these past 2 weeks with Scarborough, he's just been phenomenal. He has been a nightmare for his opponents. And it's been impressive. It's been well-deserved. If Scarborough would have won tonight, it also would have been a well-deserved victory. And, he's going to be back. That much will be true. A mainstay of our CSC Challenger Series overall. And listen, this might also be the first season in the history of seasons of the CSC where there's been double dips in both divisions for the title.
Yeah, and that's something that you wouldn't typically expect to see, just because it's so hard to do. But it also shows to anybody in future seasons,
more dart in
it's
hand.
not an impossible task.
Oh, well, Mr. Corey Beck, go ahead, just brush yourself off, let the camera reset for the love of God on this winning dart.
That one was me.
And here we go. And he is the champion of Division 2 of the CSC Challenger Series, Corey Beck. A 9-5 victory over Mike Scarborough. And, man, hats off to both players. They had a phenomenal season, as you see
that's his daughter.
Corey's daughter in there.
Yep.
First hug. She's been obviously the biggest, loudest supporter, most energizer supporting that we've seen out of anyone, I think, ever in this. So huge shout out to Corey Beck, our champion and winner of $2,500 for the Minnesotan. So now we got a couple of legends bar champions of the CSC Challenger Series, bud.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to get another one under that bar's belt shows that they're here to be serious. They're here to play. We know that Minnesota is a hotbed for top tier dart talent, and they're showing that more and more each season. It used to be is it Wisconsin? Is it Florida? Then it became is it Wisconsin? Is it Texas? No one ever said Illinois. They just kind of give it to Liz and Mike. So they just accept that one. But in general, when you look at these dart states, Minnesota's been performing particularly well. Corey Beck was kind of one of those unknowns going into the season. All things considered, no one really was putting him particularly on the radar as far as from the broadcast point of view, and to see him consistently prove everyone wrong when he was picked against, and to be able to come out on top, he earned every bit of that win, and I'm personally happy to see it. And for Scarborough, I mean, obviously 1,500 doesn't sound as good as 2,500, but you did good. You got second place in one of the most prestigious soft tip shows there is.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout out to Corey Beck getting the job done here. Man, it was a great season, buddy. Double dips in both finals to get the championship done. Now we can always talk about the Jules Danny one that's a little bit weird, but Danny came back from 6-2 down to win the finals on Monday, so he deserves it, right? And then, of course, Corey Beck getting the job done tonight was just phenomenal. And Scarborough just had a couple off weeks in a row, and Corey was able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and really hats off to not only the players, but now to you guys as well. Our numbers this season has been phenomenal from you guys watching along. You know, the fact is that you guys tune in each and every week. And one thing we saw different from this season compared to seasons past, it's not just for the big matches where you guys all tune in. We're just consistently seeing you guys tune in every week now. And it means a lot to us because we try to just put on a show. We try to put on something top to bottom that is a production that you can enjoy, whether it be Sean and Will bickering, or making fun of me, or my terrible hair and Monder picture decisions. Whatever it is, we're happy you guys keep showing up, and just know that this show exists because of you guys watching along each and every week. What's up, brother? Oh, Sean's mic has broke. That's how you know it's been the CSC, is that Sean has silenced himself.
Hey.
Oh my God. Oh no, it was so nice while it lasted.
Oh man, listen. So of course it would have to happen at the very end of the show, right? But Jeremiah asked what the picture, and it's Will sleeping in the background, which is great. I just had to make sure I said that and point out to everybody who's watching along. But guys, I can only second what Nick said. Your support this season, watching along with us, watching along for the players, to have all the support at these locations for these players. Honestly, it's what we have been trying to do, what we've been trying to grow, and we cannot wait to be back for the WCCS and then season 7 of the CSC Challenger Series, which is, looking at that list, it's looking to be bigger and even better than it has ever been in the history of this great tournament.
Yeah, and remember, guys, we still will be live on Saturday for PBD All-Star Triples. So if you're tired of seeing Sean and Will's face, don't worry, they're not there. But if you're tired of seeing my face, sorry, I am there. We're excited to be bringing coverage of that. Of course, there will also be, I'm listening.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can actually hear all 3 of us on 3 different platforms this weekend, which is really kind of the cool thing that we get to do, is work for many different companies. So obviously Nick is going to be with PPD doing his thing with triples, and then I will actually be doing the commentary on PDC.TV for the Championship Darts Corporation this weekend for event weekend number 1 in Indy. And then Will is of course at Whammo doing his thing out there. So it's all honestly thanks to your guys' support and everything that you guys have plenty of darts to watch this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, you certainly will. And if you guys are going to be having a little bit of CSC and WCS FOMO, just know, first off, the streams will be happening soon enough. Second off, we should be having a WCS, whatever the acronym is. I'm still going to do that every time.
Yeah.
A selection show coming up here soon where you actually will see a live bracket drawing from us. So that will be the next show. We will have that date posted out on Facebook. If you want to know what's going on with any of these shows, Partners Proing Darts on Facebook, there is where you'll see all those updates. And I believe that will do it here for us. Anything else you want to say, Sean?
No, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate everything. I love that we got some people in the chat shouting out who's going to win the WCCS. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And to everyone who's been kind to us, giving us kind words, or honestly, terrible feedback, because we like that too. It makes us laugh at the end of the day. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. And until next time, buddy. Nick, I'll miss you for a couple weeks, man.
I'll be honest. Me too, buddy. Me too. I really do like hanging out with you guys. Even if I'm like the little brother that they like to beat up on. Boy, are those beatings fun. Anyways, guys, thanks you all for tuning in with us. And of course, next time you'll be seeing us will not be that far. We'll be thinking of you. Don't think about, wait. Well,
what?
Will be, hold on. I'm thinking of.
Stop. Great job, Danny Baggish. Great job, Corey Beck. Congratulations on your victories in Division 1, Division 2. Have a wonderful night, and we're just going to have to stop this before Nick says something that he's going to regret.
Yeah, well, I'll be thinking of you.